William Parker.
William Parker.
Neil McDonough.
Neil McDonough. Basically, they're making a move. They want to, basically squash the mob, if you will. And that's kind of what goes on in the first season. Frank would do a much better job giving you a succinct synopsis of what the show is, but it's the best I can do right now.
It's the war in 1947 between the cops and the mob.
Was it hard for you guys to choose? Like, when you heard about this role, was it like, yes, I'm doing it, or did you guys think about what made you kind of like hop off?
There was no thought, I know, for me. Yeah. We've all kind of openly discussed it.
Frank Darabont.
It's Frank.
It was sort of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I remember in the pilot asking Simon Pegg that question. He said, "I'm dying to work with Frank." And every actor you know that's working with Frank says the same thing. I felt that way for years as well. If Frank calls, you try to work it out. Yeah. And the fact that he likes you and he wants you in it is a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
We each have our own specific things probably that he saw, that he knows, a wealth of films and respected in the business. For me, it was Prison Break, which is I realize is a beautiful rip-off of Shawshank Redemption. Paul Sheeran would probably admit it, and the fact that Frank appreciates that and embraced it and loved T-Bag, it was just great. The fact that he told me that he loved it. Milo, for you, and what do you think?
I put myself on tape. I put myself on tape, and as I hear, I think Frank said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" in a good way, forgive my language. But yeah, it was Frank. It was the material. It was what the story was. I mean, my family, coming from Chicago and my dad's upbringing and all that. I'd always hear the stories of like old syndicate, crime syndicates, mob, all that. And so, and who doesn't love a gangster picture? So for me, it was knowing that Frank is at the helm and he's the boss and we're running. We've got these great characters. This beautiful, I mean, honestly, guys, it's such a beautiful script, and when us as actors get to see something on the page, and you don't have to act, you just have to show up and say the words, and it's going to be great. But then you get around such great players, and you can embrace who your character is, and find new dimension and depth to things. It's just such a really wonderful process.
Thank you, guys.
With so many shows pushing pushing violence and kind of breaking boundaries with that, did you find any trouble with that on TNT being on the network, or do you think the show's going to be as hard hitting and gritty as?
No, I think because they're not. It's not network. It's what do you
Basic
call it?
cable.
Basic cable. So yeah, I was kind of pleasantly surprised that it's we're allowed to basically do and show and say almost everything. And if you're going to make a gangster show, you want that room to make it realistic but also fun. So we're able to do that.
You're tackling a role that's been tackled very many times by some major people. So what was your angle on? Because you're also one of the first actors who actually looks like him too. He was a very good-looking guy. I don't know how many people are aware of that, but so what was your what was your take on capturing such a major character?
Yeah, I purposely did not look at any, most specifically the Warren Beatty film.
Right.
I watched a doc on Bugsy. I did some reading, a little research on the time period. But really, Frank just said to me, "Look, this guy has to be larger than life. He walks into the room, people have to immediately love him and fear him, and just have fun with that." The other thing I've been joking around is like when I did my research and I saw he was from Brooklyn, I was like, all right, now I don't have to work on an accent, which works for me. If you've seen my work, I got one accent I do really well.
I can't wait for you to do like the caricature of you as you get older. Like Chris Walken as Chris Walken now,
One of the beautiful things I want to add to that with Ed when he came on to the show. I mean, everybody knows Ed Burns, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm best friends with this guy since I was a little kid, and you can't. Starting to sound like you know.
I was gonna say, you're gonna go
What do you do with the Ed Burns thing? No, you can't manufacture that. You can't manufacture that kind of relationship. You have it or you don't. And Ed came onto the set, and immediately, instead of, not that I had any preconceived idea that you wouldn't be this way, but you immediately reached out to everybody. You were just like, I grew up in Ohio. You were like an Ohio boy. You were like, hey, how are you? Hey, I want to talk to you. I want to know your story. I want to. You really pulled us together.